Hi everyone! Welcome back to another plant hunt with me, Hannah Lepsch, an agent at North Carolina Cooperative Extension in Yadkin County. Today I have some friends helping me out on this plant hunt. North Carolina Forest Service Rangers John and Nora are going to help us find and identify some trees that grow in Yadkin County. We'll keep our social distance, but off we go on our next plant hunt. So we're looking at native trees today. And the native trees that we are going to hunt for have adapted to our local climate and growing conditions, and they've formed relationships with the animals and plants in the forest community. So when you see these trees, you're not just seeing a tree, you're seeing a community of plants and animals that depend on it for life. Let's take a walk down this nature trail and see if we can find some of our trees today. So this is Nora Hopkins, one of the foresters in Yadkin County. Nora, tell us what tree you're standing next to today.
I'm standing next to a typical white oak. There's several species within the white oak family, but this is the most noticeable one you'll see here in Yadkin County. You can tell it's a white oak simply by the bark. See how white or ashy gray the bark is, and as you get to the top, it turns more into a platy look. You can also tell it's a white oak because of its lobed leaves, and it doesn't have a bristle tip on its leaves. It usually grows between 70 to about 100 plus feet tall. It's usually shade tolerant when it's younger, but it requires sunlight as it gets older. It's a highly valuable commercial tree in the timber industry, so it's very good to have in your yards or in your woodland. It's also good for wildlife. It has a good acorn seeds about every 2 years, so it's very good for wildlife, and squirrels love them, and you'll have a good time. This right here is a member of the red oak family. This is a southern red oak. You can tell it's a southern red because it has a very dark bark and it has these broad ridges in it. You can also tell because it has what we like to call ski trails in the bark as you go up, and you see these white lines and this dark bark. Those are the ski trails. That's commonly seen in a southern red, but it's also very common in a northern red oak. And northern and southern red oaks are often identified together, but there's a good way you can tell the difference between the two. The northern red oak has deeply lobed leaves, and it has these bristle tip points, as in the southern red oak has a leaf that looks like a bell. You can also kind of commonly say it's a southern bell because of the leaves.
So John, I hear we have a pretty special tree in Yadkin County.
Yes, we do. This is our champion Pignut Hickory. As you can see, it's pretty good size. Our state has what's called a champion tree database, which you can find off of our website. But this one here would be one of Yadkin County's champions. I would suspect that it's 100 or 2 years old and takes 2 or 3 people to hug. The wood is very dense, made for handles, baseball bats, some of the most dense wood that you can get in the woods. Very desirable for timber production. We have a handle company here in the county that makes handles from these trees. The hickory family also involves several different species, including pecan, which a lot of people like. It's all in the Coria genus and is very desired for wildlife and people.
John, tell us how to identify a pignut tree.
On a pignut hickory, as you can see, it has 5 leaflets per fascicle. The difference in between it and an ash, which looks similar, is the ash has smooth lobes, whereas the pignut has the jagged edges. Another species that's similar to the pignut is the Pignut hickory. And the reason we can tell the difference is because this one has 7 versus the pignut has 5.
Well, thanks everyone for joining us on this plant hunt, or tree hunt. And a big thank you to John and Nora with the North Carolina Forest Service for helping us find and identify these cool native trees. You can learn more about the North Carolina Forest Service from their website or Facebook page, and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Yadkin County Extension. So I'll see you next time for another plant hunt.